Section 15 of the Laws of Ecclesiastical Polity, Book 1 by Richard Hooker. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Of laws positive contained in Scripture, the mutability of certain of them, and the general use of Scripture. Laws being imposed either by each man upon himself, or by a public society upon the particulars thereof, or by all the nations of men upon every several society, or by the Lord himself upon any or every of these, there is not amongst these four kinds any one but containeth sundry both natural and positive laws. Impossible it is, but that they should fall into a number of gross errors, who only take such laws for positive as have been made or invented of men, and, holding this position, hold also that all positive and none but positive laws are mutable. Laws natural do always bind, laws positive not so, but only after they have been expressly and wittingly imposed. Laws positive there are in every of those kinds before mentioned, as in the first kind the promises which we have passed unto men, and the vows we have made unto God. For these are laws which we tie ourselves unto, and till we have so tied ourselves they bind us not. Laws positive in the second kind are such as the civil constitutions peculiar unto each particular commonwealth. In the third kind, the law of heraldry in war is positive, and in the last, all the judicials which God gave unto the people of Israel to observe. And although no laws but positive be mutable, yet all are not mutable which be positive. Positive laws are either permanent or else changeable, according as the matter itself is concerning which they were first made. Whether God or man be the maker of them, alteration they so far forth admit as the matter doth exact. Laws that concern supernatural duties are all positive, and either concern men supernaturally as men, or else as parts of a supernatural society, which society we call the Church. To concern men as men supernaturally is to concern them as duties, which belong of necessity to all, yet could not have been known by any to belong unto them unless God had opened them himself, inasmuch as they do not depend upon any natural ground at all out of which they may be deduced, but are appointed of God to supply the defect of those natural ways of salvation by which we are not now able to attain thereunto. The Church, being a supernatural society, doth differ from natural societies in this, that the persons unto whom we associate ourselves in the one are men, simply considered as men, but they to whom we be joined in the other are God, angels, and holy men. Again, the Church, being both a society and a society supernatural, although, as it is a society, it have the self-same original grounds which other public societies have, namely the natural inclination which all men have unto sociable life, and consent to some certain bond of association, which bond is the law that appointeth what kind of order they shall be associated in. Yet unto the Church, as it is a society supernatural, this is peculiar. That part of the bond of their association which belongs to the Church of God must be a law supernatural, which God himself hath revealed concerning that kind of worship which his people shall do unto him. The substance of the service of God, therefore, so far forth as it hath in it anything more than the law of reason doth teach, may not be invented of men, as it is amongst the heathens, but must be received from God himself, as always it hath been in the Church, saving only when the Church hath been forgetful of her duty. Wherefore, to end with a general rule concerning all the laws which God hath tied men unto, those laws divine that belong, whether naturally or supernaturally, either to men as men, or to men as they live in politic society, or to men as they are of that politic society which is the Church, without any further respect had unto any such variable accident as the estate of men and societies of men and of the Church itself in this world is subject unto. All laws that so belong unto men, they belong forever. Yea, although they be positive laws, unless being positive God himself which made them alter them. The reason is, because the subject or matter of laws in general is thus far forth constant, which matter is that for the ordering whereof laws were instituted, and being instituted are not changeable without cause, neither can they have cause of change when that which gave them their first institution remaineth forever one and the same. On the other side, laws that were made for men or societies or churches in regard of their being such, as they do not always continue, but may perhaps be clean otherwise a while afterward, and so may require to be otherwise ordered than before, the laws of God himself, which are of this nature, no man endued with common sense will ever deny to be of a different constitution from the former, in respect of the one's constancy and the mutability of the other. and this doth seem to have been the very cause why St. John doth so peculiarly term the doctrine that teacheth salvation by Jesus Christ, Evangelium aeternum, an eternal gospel, because there can be no reason wherefore the publishing thereof should be taken away, and any other instead of it proclaimed, as long as the world doth continue, whereas the whole law of rites and ceremonies, although delivered with so great solemnity, is notwithstanding clean abrogated, inasmuch as it had but temporary cause of God's ordaining it. But that we may at length conclude this first general introduction unto the nature and original birth, as of all other laws, so likewise of those which the sacred Scripture containeth, concerning the author whereof even infidels have confessed that he can neither err nor deceive, albeit about things easy and manifest unto all men by common sense there needeth no higher consultation, because as a man whose wisdom is in weighty affairs admired would take it in some disdain to have his counsels solemnly asked about a toy, so the meanness of some things is such, that to search the Scripture of God for the ordering of them were to derogate from the reverend authority and dignity of the Scripture, no less than they do, by whom Scriptures are, in ordinary talk, very idly applied unto vain and childish trifles. Yet better it were to be superstitious than profane, to take from thence our direction even in all things great or small, than to wade through matters of principal weight and moment, without ever caring what the law of God hath either for or against our designs. Concerning the custom of the very pagans, thus much Strabo witnesseth, quote, men that are civil do lead their lives after one common law appointing them what to do, for that otherwise a multitude should with harmony amongst themselves concur in doing of one thing, for this is civilly to live, or that they should in any sort manage community of life, it is not possible. Now laws or statutes are of two sorts, for they are either received from gods or else from men, and our ancient predecessors did surely most honour and reverence that which was from the gods, for which cause consultation with oracles was a thing very usual and frequent in their times. End quote. Did they make so much account of the voice of their gods, which in truth were no gods, and shall we neglect the precious benefit of conference with the oracles of the true and living God, whereof so great store is left to the Church, and whereunto there is so free, so plain, and so easy access for all men? By thy commandments, this was David's confession unto God, thou hast made me wiser than mine enemies. Again, I have more understanding than all my teachers, because thy testimonies are my meditations. What pains would not they have bestowed in the study of these books, who travelled sea and land to gain the treasures of some few days' talk with men, whose wisdom the world did make any reckoning of? That little which some of the heathens did chance to hear concerning such matter as the sacred Scripture plentifully containeth, they did in wonderful sort effect. Their speeches, as oft as they make mention thereof, are strange, and such as themselves could not utter as they did other things, but still acknowledged that their wits, which did everywhere else conquer hardness, were, with profoundness, here overmatched. Wherefore, seeing that God hath endued us with sense, to the end that we might perceive such things as this present life doth need, and with reason, lest that which sense cannot reach unto, being both now and also in regard of a future state hereafter necessary to be known, should lie obscure. Finally, with the heavenly support of prophetical revelation, which doth open those hidden mysteries that reason could never have been able to find out, or to have known the necessity of them unto our everlasting good, use we the precious gifts of God unto his glory and honour that gave them, seeking by all means to know what the will of our God is, what righteousness before him, in his sight what holy, perfect, and good, that we may truly and faithfully do it. End of section 15.